Welcome to the first episode of Free Play Hoops. My name is Dimitri from Free Play Media, and I'm here with Joey, aka Joester, Joe and Cheese, J Cost, J Money, J Dollar Sign, Jordan, whatever you want to call him. He's here. And today we're doing an NBA teams tier ranking, and we're just going to jump straight into it. Let's start off with the Atlanta Hawks here, Joe.
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever heard anyone call me Joe and Cheese before, so that's a nice little first for you.
It has a nice little ring to it, right?
All right, as far as the Hawks, they were definitely one of my winners this past offseason. They made a lot of great signings. They traded for KP. Didn't take a whole lot to get him. Signed Nikhil Alexander-Walker, who might be like the best free agent signing this past offseason. Jalen Johnson is taking an all-star type leap. I'd be very surprised if he didn't make it this year. 20 points, 10 plus rebounds, 8 plus assists. I think that's the most shocking thing. Do you think he's taken the franchise cornerstone piece away from Trae Young?
Joe, I'll be honest with you. I drafted him in my sleeper dynasty league, and he's my cornerstone piece. That's for sure. Okay. And yeah, I do think he's also the Hawks' cornerstone piece. I mean, Trae Young's in his prime right now. He's a little older, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did trade Trae Young away. I would say Jalen Johnson is probably the only untradeable player on that team, unless, the Hawks owners are feeling a little crazy. The GM's feeling a little crazy. I'll tell you what, Jalen Johnson and a few picks for Giannis gets it done. So if they want to go crazy, Trae Young, Giannis, it wouldn't surprise me. But Jalen Johnson, in my eyes, is the cornerstone piece. He really is. But let's also clarify that this tier ranking is not based off who's going to win the NBA Finals. We're basing it off of who is doing great right now and is looking great for the future. So with that, where should we throw the Hawks?
I'm thinking the Hawks in A tier. I think no matter if you trade Trae Young or not, he still looked pretty solid the last few games that he's been back. It's just a matter of time to see how he affects the defense that this Hawks team has played, and there's no shortage of open shots needed from him. So,
Yeah.
needed to be made from him, to be created by him. So, I'm gonna go with A tier.
All right, let's jump to the Celtics. The
Ooh, this
Celtics, they're in a weird spot, I'll be honest. They have a lack of bigs right now. Lack of bigs, but they've had some players really step up. Payne Pritchard has looked great. Jaylen Brown, he's been good. He's been keeping them afloat. Dude, Jordan Walsh has been unbelievable for this team this year. He's come out of nowhere, defensive god. Him and Derek White, dude, they got the bald defensive squad out there. I think that they're good. They really need Tatum back. Like, you're really seeing it this season. Without Tatum, they're just mid.
it's kind of tough to see whether Joe Mazzulla trusts Simons or not. Even if not, I think you could still get some pretty solid value out of him. But I think they definitely have been surprising. They've been probably one of the better Eastern Conference teams as of late, and I don't think that's anything anyone really expected. I had my own sort of critiques or doubts about Jaylen Brown as a 1A as far as this year goes without Tatum. But he's looked the part. I don't think the shot creation for others is totally there, but as far as creating for himself, he's looked very good. But as far as the Celtics, I think I'm going to put them in A tier.
Okay. Next, we got a stinker. We got the Brooklyn Nets. The Nets, not a lot of bright spots on that team. I thought Igor Demon was going to be a lot better, especially assist wise coming into the season. But man, that team does not like to pass the ball.
I think the thing is with this Brooklyn Nets team, you had 5 first round picks and you're kind of getting some sort of flashes out of these guys.
Yeah,
Igor Demon, he's been fine. Danny Wolf is a little intriguing to me, the guy out of Michigan.
he is.
It'll be interesting to see what he's got, but I don't think they're really facing a whole lot of pressure in this Eastern Conference. No pressure to win. You're just kind of at this point seeing what you got. I think they can really make some noise in the future, but as of right now, it's a little ugly. But as of right now, I think I've got them. What are you feeling? Are you thinking top of C tier or bottom of B tier? You thinking?
I think I'm going to put them in the C tier just because of their picks, and they have a
Yeah.
lot of guys that need development. So it's too early to say what they're going to be in the future. I mean, Danny Wolf could be an unbelievable player. He has a lot of holes in his game, but he has raw skill. His vision is great. He needs work defensively. He could score the rock. I mean,
There's a little
Igor
bit of ball
Demon has the
creation with him as
potential.
well.
No, he does, dude. He's a good player. He's just a developmental project. Same with Igor Demon, and for that reason, I'll put him in the C tier. Okay, Charlotte Hornets. Hot take. They stink. LaMelo Ball gone. Well, it's not a hot take. Cold take. They stink. LaMelo Ball gone. Traded to. I'm gonna predict it. The Clippers. Okay, going to the Clips. Concanupple dog. Anyone else on the team a dog? No. Only bright spot. Okay. The Hornets, one thing's for sure, they did not know how to develop players. Okay. They did not develop LaMelo. LaMelo's just been that guy for a while now. Okay.
I think it's been hard to kind of rely on LaMelo's health, and I feel like the Charlotte Hornets don't want to be in the LaMelo business anymore. Con Knipple, if anyone would have told me a few months ago that Con Knipple would be the front runner for Rookie of the Year, I would have said you're probably crazy.
He's a
Um,
dude, he's insane. He's very good. Like he is the cornerstone of that franchise right now.
yeah, I think undoubtedly. Even Kalkbrenner, the guy they drafted beginning of the second round. I almost said third round. Wow. Early second round, he's been great. I think he's among one of the league leaders in field goal percentage. A nice little 10 and 10 guy there for you, and that's just what you need. You got some real value, and I think they're probably one of the winners in that draft, honestly.
Here's the thing though, you could draft well. It's just how can you develop these guys?
Right.
Time and time again, they've drafted good players. They're just not really a developmental team, and it's just like the next team we got, the Chicago Bulls. But I'm gonna throw the
Oof.
Hornets. Just for their good drafting, I'm gonna put them. I want to put them in the C tier above the Nets. I would also be okay with in the B tier.
I'm thinking B tier.
All right,
I'm
let's throw them in
thinking
the
B
B
tier.
tier. All right, let's talk about the worst developmental team in the league, the Chicago Bulls. I'll be honest. I was the biggest Patrick Williams supporter. And it might be time to hang that up. This dude is not even getting minutes anymore. Do you know how much
Yes.
money I spent on his rookie cards? Too much. Too
I've
much.
got a
And I
I've got
still
a
have
I've got a Patrick Williams story for you. So it was peak COVID, 2020 draft was coming on. I was driving home from my girlfriend at the time's apartment in the city, and I was listening to the draft. I was fully expecting them to take Denny Avdia because I'm thinking we really need a playmaker on this team, and I think Denny Avdia really could have brought those chops. When they called Patrick Williams' name, I was so livid. I was like, he was supposed to be a back end lottery guy, maybe even like fringe out of the lottery guy. Crazy reach at number 4. I'm not happy. I don't love the $18 million a year, especially when we had more flashes out of Kobe White, and they gave him a lot less money when he became a restricted free agent. So really upsetting with how the Bulls handled that one. I want to talk about Billy Donovan a little bit.
him.
I
No.
think the expectation with him was he's going to be a competitive coach. Now it's not the case anymore. DeMar's not there anymore. Vooch is probably on his way out. I think at that point he's kind of doing what the front office is telling him to do, like giving Patrick Williams a plethora of minutes, especially last year and this year
Well,
when
you
he's
kind of
proven
have to.
he's
When you pay a guy that much money, you have to give him minutes. I think the other day he only played like 6 minutes.
yeah, he's not
You know?
playing very many minutes anymore. And I think it's kind of hard to not play him because you don't really have any options at the combo forward slot. Asenge's out for the season. Talk about another blown pick.
This team's just in a bad spot. It really is. I
Yeah.
mean, Matas is a bright spot. Giddy's good. We have a bunch of good players. We don't have any cornerstones. I honestly thought Matas was gonna be a lot better this year. He's shown flashes, but he's been inconsistent. And also the going with Billy Donovan. I got an issue with you, Billy. I got an issue with you because why some games do you play this guy 30 plus minutes? In other games, you put him in for 18, 20. Let the kid play. Let him grow. Let him learn through the struggles. Okay. We're not competitive. Okay. I'm sorry. Bringing Julian Phillips off the bench is not going to help anyone. Okay. Julian Phillips is not going to be a part of this team in 3 years. Dalen Terry will not be a part of this team in 3 years. Okay. Patrick Williams, I thought he was going to be here for 10 more years. He stinks. Give Matas the ball. Give him the minutes. And Vooch, oh, don't even get me started on Vooch. Vooch, I loved you. You are still my profile picture on Google. But we have issues, buddy. We have issues. You don't care about this team anymore. You cared when we were 6-0. But now what? You don't care. You could see it on the court. You don't care about nothing. Get this guy off the team. Just cut him. Terrible defensively. He's supposed to be a great rebounder. His rebounding has been pretty mid this year, if you ask me. These teams are getting offensive rebounds out the wazoo on top of Vooch.
I think Vooch can still
Sorry.
contribute in a like Marc Gasol Raptors kind of role, but his days of a high quality starter center in this league are over. He's definitely still got some skill, but he needs to be in a situation where teams are not super reliant on him and he can give you like maybe 20 good minutes off the bench, if that even. But I think there's some value there as a connector piece, as a floor spacer. And on this Bulls team, like there's no real room for him. If we re-sign him, I'm just not going to be happy.
Yeah, I
But
mean, we're not in a good spot. Like I said, we have a few bright pieces. We're going to trade Kobe probably. We're going to trade Vooch maybe if someone wants him. And then we kind of just got to fill in the holes from there. I don't know why we love drafting players who we can't decide if they're a 3 or a 4. That was the issue with Patrick Williams. His rookie year, he played the 3. They tried to move him to the 4. He was too small. Then they tried moving him back to a 3 and D guy at the 3. And then they're like, no, we'll play at the 4 again. And then you kind of see it now with Matas too. They'll run him at like the 3 spot, and they'll put someone else at the 4. And now Noah Senge, who we just drafted, who is very raw, who could be very good down the line, but he's also, is he a 3? Is he a 4? Can he develop into a Bam Adebayo type and play the 5? Like, we have so many just raw players, and we just can't develop. When was the last time we developed a good player? Jay
I
Cost,
just
tell me, when was the last time we developed a good player?
I just don't trust this
Answer my
front office.
question. When did we develop a good player last time? Tell me.
I'd say probably Io, even if he came into the league like that.
Okay, that's
And
actually a good answer.
they'll probably, credit him, but I think his work ethic, his defense, I think he's really coming to this league as a real asset, especially from day one. But I just don't trust this front office as far as
Nope.
making decisions regarding the future, signing decisions clearly. As far as free agency goes, we have 7 people probably coming off the books. We got Vooch, we got Herter, Io, Kobe, Zach Collins, Dalen Terry, Javon Carter. And honestly, at this point, I think the only person that I would really consider resigning at this point is Io. He's just been
Yeah.
doing so many good things
Yeah.
for us, and he always has. But as far as the draft, I just don't know if I totally trust them. Fire everybody. Just straight up fire everybody. The decision making in this front office is horrible. The Reinsdorf should go ahead and sell the team. We just need new voices in this front office. I can't do this anymore. It's very hard being a Bulls fan.
Let's throw him in the F tier. Let's just do it.
Ah,
We're going on
I
strike.
I I would love to. I think like the temptation is there, but realistically, I'm thinking C. I think there's definitely teams with worse situations for sure.
Okay, fine. All right, next we got the Cavaliers. Weird season so far. Weird season for the Cavaliers.
Am I the only one disappointed by Evan Mobley this season? I'm
No,
a little disappointed.
he is. I thought he was going to take another step this year, and he hasn't. It's just
I just
a lot of guys you'd think would be playing a lot better who just haven't lived up to the expectation. But yet again, maybe they just outplayed themselves last year because they did
I
come out of
just
nowhere
yeah.
last year. Well, not
I
out of
just
nowhere,
yeah.
but they're a lot better than what people thought they were going to be last year.
I just wish Evan Mobley played with a little bit more physicality. I think his skills as an offensive player has definitely grown. But I think
Oh,
too often where he tries to drive a bigger wing or a big guy stops him, he's afraid of the contact and goes to that sort of spin fade in the mid range. I just don't know if I totally love that. I think he's got the length to do it, but I just don't totally love that shot. You can call me an analytics guy if you really want, but I'm disappointed, but I don't think that's like the whole reason that they're doing as underwhelming as we thought.
yeah.
Darius Garland has also been hurt.
Hmm.
He was good the other night, but Donovan Mitchell was out. I just don't think this backcourt really works between the two. I
No.
think Darius Garland can really contribute to a team, but I think he just needs a better backcourt partner. They're the only second apron team this year, and so at some point you're kind of stuck with what you have. You can't take back more money than what you sent out, and you're only limited to like one-on-one player trades. So that may be difficult for moving Darius Garland or even a Jarrett Allen if you're really feeling spicy. But Jalen Tyson, he's had a very, very good season. I think the breakout's coming. I wouldn't be surprised if he kept that starting small forward spot, even when Max Strus comes back. Sam Merrill might be one of the more enjoyable role players that I like to watch. His shot is so fast. He's incredibly efficient at knocking down threes, but he might have one of the fastest jump shots I've ever seen. He
Dude,
always brings the
how
hustle. He's so fun to watch. I love watching Sam Merrill.
quick question. Donovan Mitchell, right? What are your top five shooting guards in the league right now? Where does
I've
he
got
rank?
I've got Ant at one. I've got Book at two. I've got Jalen Brown at three.
You have Jalen
Putting
Brown
me
as a
up.
shooting guard?
I think it's subjective, but I think for the
I'm,
purposes of this, yes, I would have him as a shooting guard.
I don't
That's what
agree.
I think.
I'd say he's more of a small forward.
Okay. That's
Take
subjective.
Jalen Brown
I'm
out of this. Take him out of this.
okay. All right, let's go. Let's go.
Book.
Ant Book. I think Desmond Bain is up there somewhere. I
You
don't
have
think
do you have Bane over Mitchell?
I don't have Bain over Mitchell. I
So
think
do you have Mitchell at three?
I'd probably put Donovan Mitchell at three.
Then Bane.
For the sake of right now, I think I'd put Donovan Mitchell at three.
All right,
That's
so where
fair.
should where should we put the Cavs?
I'm putting them in B tier.
B tier.
I
Boom.
I'm not totally sold on their flexibility for the future. They're kind
Yeah.
of stuck with the roster that they have now, and I just don't think their roster is good enough.
Let's go Dallas. A little Dallas action. A little Cooper Flag. A Disney. Kyrie.
When he comes back.
Gafford. Dog. Lively. Dog. It's a good team. Cooper Flag was very underwhelming the first 10 games of the season. He's been starting to show out more. He had a 40-point game last week, I want to say. Um, they're in a weird spot. They really are. All the Dallas fans still hate him. They're not Cooper Flag. They just hate the organization. I don't blame them. I don't blame them. Nico Harrison, do not show your face in Dallas ever again after what you did. But you're lucky you got the first pick, and I think it was rigged. But they're in a good spot. I mean, Cooper Flag can't go wrong with Coop.
I think
Not many other young pieces on that team that are great, but you got Coop, and you can't complain about that.
I think earlier in the season is kind of an example of how important the playmaking floor general point guard is in this league. I understand the idea of putting Cooper Flag at the point guard to start the season, but that's just not him. That's not
No.
his game. And I think Jason Kidd kind of just threw him to the wolves. I got a question for you. Would you be surprised if Jason Kidd put Cooper Flag at the point guard just to, try and like soft tank just so that Nico Harrison could get fired?
I think Nico Harrison was getting fired either way. There was no world where Nico Harrison was keeping his job. I could kind of understand why Jason Kidd could potentially do that, but also I don't think he would because his job is also at stake. There's a lot of flaws with that team. You got Clay, who's been terrible. He's not even Clay anymore. I don't
D'Angelo
know who
Russell
he
has been
is.
a total disappointment.
D'Angelo Russell's not even in the league at this point. Anthony Davis, I mean, this guy gets injured just looking at the basketball. I mean, they
You know,
should realistically just trade everyone, just build around Coop, just let him ball out for a few years, rebuild the team, and put yourself in a good spot. But all right, let's move on. Let's move on to the next team here. Where should we put the Mavericks?
I'm gonna put them in C tier.
All right, Denver Nuggets. Um, they got Jokic, the goat, not the goat. Sorry, not the goat. Best player in the league. Sorry, Shay. Um, I mean the Nuggets are contender every year. Jamal Murray, dog. I actually really do like the Cam Johnson trade for him. I know he hasn't been as great as people expected, but I do think he's a better fit for that team than MPJ was because he brings a little better defense. He probably doesn't bring as much shot creation, but we've seen Cam Johnson be a great role player on the Suns. He got a little more shot selection on the Nets because he was the best player.
I did really like this offseason for them. I think the Michael Porter Jr. trade was something that had to be done. Cam Johnson had a little bit of a slow start, but I think he's starting to really kind of pile it up a little bit and kind of like falling into his role a little bit. I'd be very
Takes
surprised if
time. It
Jamal Murray.
takes time to figure out.
Exactly. And going from a team like Brooklyn, who's bottom of the barrel, just kind of a coagulation of whatever. Um, you know, I think you kind of have to get back into it a little bit. Jamal
Yeah.
Murray, he should be an all-star too this year. He's been playing exceptional. He's really came back as the true number two on this team. Even getting guys off the bench like a Bruce Brown and who you've had before was a crucial part of that title run. Even Tim Hardaway Jr., who's going to maybe even go off a few nights for like 15 or something, who's just a flamethrower from three, albeit streaky, but he'll still give you some really good minutes off the bench. Even Jonas Valanciunas, this is probably the best backup big that Denver has had. He's been, all he needs to do is just give you maybe 10, 12 solid minutes, lessen the burden on Jokic so he doesn't have to play an extreme amount of minutes. And suddenly you're not totally worried about the minutes that Jokic spends on the bench. I think they've really come into this season as not totally up there with the Thunder, but definitely a very solid contender. I think David Adelman definitely deserved that job after Mike Malone was fired. I think he did a very good job with them last postseason. I really like this team. I really do. And I think they're going
Yeah.
to be a contender for years.
All right. Where do you want to put them?
I'm going to put them in, you know what? I'm going to put them in S tier.
Detroit Pistons. Dogs.
I don't think it goes without saying that Jalen Duren this year has been an absolute monster.
Hmm.
And talk about first time also. And I'm this might be a broken record at this point, just saying everybody deserves an all-star appearance, but Jalen Duren, seriously, he's been absolutely unreal. Leading like probably up there with the leaders in the league of field goal percentage. It's averaging a nice, cool 18 and 11, I believe. There's a little bit of shot creation ability to him this year that we didn't totally see last year. And I think the Cade and Duren pick and roll is going to be one of the most lethal weapons in the East this
Yeah.
year. I think that people forget how toe to toe they were with the Knicks last year in the postseason.
Mhm.
Cade was unreal. And I think when they switched over to Mitchell Robinson starting alongside Cat, I don't think there was really an answer to him on the boards. I love this team. I think the Tobias Harris contract is very tradable. I think they should stand pat still and just kind of see what you have with this team fully healthy. I think this team is very good. I think you need a little bit more shooting around Cade. Duncan Robinson has started to find his role with this team.
Mhm.
I love the picks that they've got. Asar Thompson is one of the best raw athletes in this league right now. Isaiah Stewart, amazing. I love this roster. I think their future is going to be very bright for them. It looks really
Where,
good in
where we
Detroit.
slaughtered them. Where we slaughtered them.
S tier.
Boom.
S tier.
Boom. All right, Jay Cause, let's move on to the Warriors. I have a little question for you. Steve Kerr, is he on the hot seat or not seat?
That's a good one. I think he is. I think he should be. I don't think the ownership or the front office will do anything about it. I personally think he doesn't get enough responsibility for all these young guys that kind of come through that are supposed to be something and don't end up being anything. I'm not saying James Wiseman being a bust is his fault, but I think when it comes to Kaminga, it's just been super inconsistent. Pajemski, I don't think there's a real clear role for him on this team. And even when they trot him out there this season, it's been kind of horrendous.
Yeah.
I don't love that they signed Kaminga to that 1+1 with the team option for 21 million a year, especially if they're just going to be handing him DNPs as of recently. Did you even see the news that Joe Lacob, the owner of the Warriors, had responded to an angry fan's email?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's
I
not because the fan was saying how they should trade Jimmy Butler because Jimmy hasn't been he's been underwhelming this year.
Yeah, and he
And
was frustrated.
yeah, and you know what? The owner did well, and he defended his players. He defended the organization. He said he's trying to work on it. And I mean, it's just a weird spot to be in. You know, the Warriors, they have Steph Curry, they have Jimmy. Like they really could be something. They just been very underwhelming. But I also wouldn't be surprised if they just everyone just started to click more and it really turned up this season. I don't really know where to put them on this tier list.
I'm gonna put
Uh,
him in D tier.
D tier, our first D tier team. Houston Rockets. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. They are looking good. Amin Thompson, dog. Alperen Sengun, dog. Kevin Durant, snake, dog.
I think the clutch numbers with Şengün has been really interesting, especially when they're, going to him a little bit more than Kevin Durant. That's why you traded for a guy like Kevin Durant. But at the same time, he's making them. Şengün's having an awesome season, another undoubtedly all-star season from him.
Yeah.
And these role players, they're awesome. Reed Shepherd, after not getting a lot of run last year, he's really stepped into a point guard role. So much
Yeah.
so that, excuse me, that they've benched Steven Adams, who, by the way, leading the league in offensive rebounds. But Reed Shepherd's been great. He's kind of doing what they need of him. Are they going to look for a point guard this trade deadline? I'm not totally sure. But Amin Thompson, again,
Dog.
one of the most raw athletes this league has ever seen. I just like there's a lot of versatility. Ime Udoka has these guys playing hard. I think this is a very interesting team. They've got a lot of the Suns picks. If I remember correctly, the Nets wanted their picks back from Houston from the James Harden deal back when he got traded to the Nets. They're like, all right, just give us Phoenix's picks. All right. Easy, pretty simple transaction. Now those picks are looking
Pretty
a
nice.
decent a decent valuable. I don't think the Phoenix Suns, we'll get to them in a little bit, but I don't know if it's sustainable the way that they're playing
No.
right now.
No.
But
All right, where are we throwing them?
S tier.
Yeah, it's nice and simple. I don't even know
You
why
took
I
the words
asked.
right out. You
I don't know
took
why I
yeah, you took
asked.
it right out of my mouth.
All right, let's talk about the Pacers. Tyrese is hurt. They lost Miles Turner. Do you know who's been a great surprise for him? Huff. Huff
Huff's
has
been
been a
great.
dog, dude. He's been an absolute dog. I mean, they got a lot of good role players, but they're also missing their star. So you can't really knock them down too much.
I think this is a prove it year for Benedict Mathurin. This is a contract year. I think he hits restricted free agency after this year. This is his opportunity to really go out and ball out and show that he deserves a spot in this team. Or if it's not with the Pacers, it's with another team. But I think this team is talented. I think it's a very like kind of one-off year. And if they continue at the rate they're going, they have their own pick back that they acquired in a trade. At this rate, like they might have a top pick next year that they're gonna add to their team with Tyrese coming back. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be nuts.
Where are we throwing them?
I think right now I'm throwing him B.
All right, let's roll with the Clippers here. Talk about a disappointment. Wow. And guess who has their pick?
The Oklahoma City Thunder.
OKC. James Harden and Kawhi, please save us.
Meech, I say we create a new tier specifically for the Clippers. I think we have to create an F
We
tier.
just there is an F tier. I think we throw them below the F tier. We just throw them in Clippers.
There's only one F tier team, and I think this is it.
All right, throw them in.
I
Throw them
think
in.
the Norman Powell trade has been such a disappointment.
Yeah.
He's a budding all-star caliber player. He was a huge factor of why they were so good last year. They don't really have any valuable young guys. They have some, not a lot of picks left, not enough for me to be really intrigued. No intriguing young guys. Their main guys don't really have a whole lot of value. Their main value guy is probably Zubats at this point. And even then, it's like I don't really know how much you're going to be able to get for him.
Um,
I don't think there's a Kawhi market anymore. James Harden at this rate, I think there's some value for him, but not a whole lot. I think he's aging. But can we talk about the Chris Paul thing for a little bit?
yeah. I mean, they did him bogus.
I
Poor
think they
guy.
did him totally bogus. I think it's hard for me to feel bad and just have him be like, oh, like Kawhi, like let me switch on Klay Thompson. You can't keep up with him. And all of this other stuff, criticizing the front office, the coaching staff, all of this stuff, where you as the Clippers have really created this environment of just lack of accountability where you're treating Kawhi and Paul George at the time like, they have control over practice schedules, over all this stuff that goes on in your organization. And just, you've kind of created this environment. I think Ty Lue is a little bit of an overrated head coach. I just I just can't with this team. This team is very frustrating. And the hesitancy to try and trade these guys while they still even have some little bit of value, I think is very concerning.
Yeah.
The only person of note that's on under contract after next season, I believe, is Zubats. Everybody else is coming off the books, and that really concerns me. And I think they've reached peak desperateness to where I feel like you might have to swing a trade for like a Zion Williamson or a
Yeah.
LaMelo Ball. And even then, it's not totally, set in stone that they're going to be available for you. If that's the best you can do, like I would just do it. You need some sort of youth movement in this organization, some sort of excuse to hit the hard reset button. I'm just baffled at the decisions this front office has made. I really am. I really am. F tier.
F tier. Lakers.
I'm gonna give my flowers to Austin Reeves. He's
Oh,
been
God.
nuclear this year. He's been absolutely nuclear. One of the conversations that I've had with my coworkers, because they know ball a little bit, would you say
Saying
he's
I don't
one
know
of
ball?
I'm I'm not saying you don't. I'm just saying like
Okay.
I'm able to talk to them about basketball a little
I'll
bit.
remember that.
Do you think Austin Reeves is the greatest undrafted player of all time? It's hard for me to put him over Ben Wallace with the DPOYs in the ring,
Oh no, it's Ben
but
Wallace.
but I
Yeah, you
really
you have no, it has to be Ben Wallace right now.
but I think he's
Austin
100
Reeves, he's up there.
I think he's 100% making a case at this point. He's turned into a star.
Yeah.
I think he's going to make the All-Star team this year. The LeBron piece of this, I wish that they would just let him walk at this point. I don't know if he totally has value. He looks very disengaged. I think he's very much jealous and he doesn't really know how to play second fiddle to a guy. And I think it's really showing in his demeanor and the way
Yeah.
he acts and what he's really paying attention to at this point. I don't think this front office can really afford to just give him 1+1s every year for like 50 mil. And I don't think he has any sort of value. Who's trading for a 41-year-old LeBron James? Yeah, he's one of the best players of all time, and he's still very good. He's very much outplaying his age, but at the same time, you're nuking your future for to build around a 41-year-old LeBron James.
Jay Cost, I got a question.
Go
This
for it.
is a serious question.
Go for it.
Should the Lakers build a Nico Harrison statue?
I think that's definitely something they should look into. I think they should, if they let LeBron go, they use some of the leftover money from signing all these better role players around Luca and Austin Reeves and
Jay
invest.
Cost, every day I wake up and I just wonder, how did this trade happen? They didn't. They didn't even talk to any other team. And all it took was Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a
One first
first.
round pick. One first round pick.
And you know that first is not going to be good because the Lakers just got Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
I really think the Lakers should build a Nico Harrison statue. I think Nico Harrison should relocate to Los Angeles. The people love him there.
I think
Thank you.
I think I think Rob Pelinka should handcraft that sculpture himself. I really think so. I'm not
I
a fan
think
of Rob Pelinka as a
Rob
front office
Pelinka
guy. I'm not a
must have
fan.
thought it was a joke. He must have. Imagine getting that phone call. Hey, you want Luca? Yeah, what do you want? Oh, give me Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a first.
I think that opportunity just kind of fell in his lap, and I think Rob Pelinka,
Do you know how
his sort,
fast Rob Pelinka probably said yes to that?
he probably said yes very
It
fast.
was probably world record time. He probably offered it in less than 1 second. Probably yes.
I feel like there was no scenario in which Rob Pelinka could have messed that up, and I think that just kind of shows, you know, I don't want to say like anyone can be a front office guy. I don't think he's this mastermind because I feel like the last few years of the Lakers when he's been general manager or even president of basketball ops, if I'm not mistaken, I don't totally know. I think it's general manager still. I feel like he's really made his own messes and then have had to clean them up.
Well, he also made a lot of bad decisions too,
That's what I'm saying.
like letting
He's
Caruso walk.
right, and so that's what I'm saying is that he has to clean up his own messes
Yeah,
that
dude.
he's the one who made in the first place.
Yeah.
So
Uh, you know,
I feel like with the way that Nico Harrison was seemingly gunning for Luca to be traded and just like the lack of, you know, hey, like I'm just gonna deal it to my good buddy Rob Pelinka instead of just kind of surveying the market to get the best possible deal.
dude, do you know what the package could have been for that guy?
Oh my God. You don't like that's something you just don't do is trade a 25, 26-year-old superstar, global icon, could be one of the best players in the history of the league. You don't trade him unless he wants to be traded.
Luka
You
Doncic
just
could have
don't.
been 500 pounds, and they probably still would have gotten a better package for him, even if they just shipped him off to any other team. All right, well, let's get over the Lakers here because I could go on for 10 hours about this Lakers team. Where are we throwing them? I think B,
I agree. Let's go B.
Grizzlies. Ooh, yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Definitely definitely an interesting one. John Morant situation, Jaren Jackson. But they have some nice pieces, some good young bright spots.
Yeah,
But the Grizzlies are just they're in a weird spot. Take it away.
Yeah, Colin Coward has been great this season. He's been absolutely great, and I think he's a all rookie first team guy. I think he's been very quality for this team. Even when Edie's been back, I know he's I think banged up again as far as right now, but he's looked really good. Imagine a guy who's 7'4", and I know we're spoiled with Wemby, but you don't see a guy as big as Zach Edey start to spot up from three very often. I think they've got a very solid group of young guys. I think Jalen Wells is also a worthy note up there. I don't think he's going to be, a star or anything. I hope I'm wrong. But even as of right now, he's a very, very high quality role player. And this is his only second year in the league. As far as
Jaycos,
John Morant, oh, good.
question. You're
Go for
you're
it.
talking about John Morant right here, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna trade him this season, or do you think they're gonna wait till the offseason?
I just don't know if he has much value. I think his availability poses a great issue, and I don't think he's gonna. The only way I see them trading him is if they get like a really good offer, as if he was just totally healthy.
Okay,
I
so then I
just
have
don't.
a second question for you. What teams could use a John Morant?
I think a team that has good enough shooting. I think the Bucks are kind of an interesting team. I think John Morant's a good enough playmaker that I think he could be very effective. I don't know how that would work. I think Memphis would have to be a third team involved in a Giannis deal potentially. But
What about like a Timberwolf? I know they're in the market for a point guard.
I think for the right price, I think it would be good. I don't know if I can really get behind John Morant's lack of shooting. And even I think his numbers at the rim this year are not even good.
Where are we
Not a
tossing them?
fan.
Where are we tossing them?
C tier.
All right, Miami Heat. Like, would you say they have any cornerstones?
I don't think they really have any cornerstones. I think Norman Powell's like 32 and he's been absolutely great for them. But if I know anything, Eric Spoelstra is going to get the most out of his players and
Yeah.
he's always going to make this team add up to more than the sum of its parts, if that makes sense. I think they're among the top of the league. I think they're the best in the league in pace. They're the fastest team in the league. Kalel Ware is very interesting. I love watching
Very
him.
raw. Yeah, he's
He's very
good.
raw. He's great defensively. Eric Spoelstra's always got a game plan, always going to get the best out of his guys. Norman Powell's going to be an all-star this season. I think Tyler Hero, there's not real. I think he's expendable at this point.
Yeah.
I'm not super high
I
on
think they
Tyler.
trade him.
I'm not totally high on Tyler Hero, especially as like a point guard and the way that they, feel like we're going to use him last year when he was an all-star. But I think Tyler Hero is still a good player. I can't get behind the score first, not too much of a playmaker, no defense, one-dimensional
Yeah.
archetype. I just can't get behind it. I'm gonna go B.
Milwaukee. Wow. Talk about terrible construction of a team. Terrible. Terrible coach too.
All
Doc
right,
Rivers should not
Meech.
have a job.
I've got a hot take for you.
Oh, talk to me. What's the hot take?
The Bucks aren't gonna get a crazy return for Giannis.
Yeah, that's a terrible take. That is an absolute
Let
terrible
me
take.
let, let me let me let me say
That
my
Jay Cost, I'll
defense.
be honest, that might be the worst take I've ever heard in my life.
Let me say my defense though. Giannis is 30 years old. This offseason, he's eligible for an extension that's worth $300 million over the course of 4 years. Are you trying to pay Giannis Antetokounmpo $80 million when he turns 35, 36?
Yes.
I just don't know if I can get behind that. I
He's
think the athletic
averaging 29, 10, and
I
6 on
I think it
64% shooting.
I think his athleticism is going to decline. I feel like I don't think he's an injury prone player by any means, but I don't know if I could totally get behind it. I think any team who's going to trade for him theoretically at this deadline, I think you're also risking having to pay him that money next offseason. And I just don't know if I could totally get down with it. I don't love this roster. They're second most accurate team in the league when it comes to three-point shooting. I love Ryan Rollins. He's been a great asset for them. But the Miles Turner thing, I don't know if I can totally wrap my head around it. I think
Yeah.
there's no real route that you can kind of go without trading Giannis.
I mean, Miles Turner has been very underwhelming, and I can't believe that Giannis sat down with this front office and the coach, and they're like, "Yeah, we have a competitive roster. Look at this team.
They don't have a true point guard, and I feel like that kind of
Kevin Porter
diminishes
Jr.
the.
I don't hate Kevin Porter
He's been
Jr. He's
good.
been
He's
good,
been good.
right? Kyle Kuzma.
He's been kind of hit or
If
miss,
I'll be
but
honest, if Kyle Kuzma is on your roster, you are automatically not a contender. If he's starting on your team, automatically you are not a contender.
not to
Okay?
mention you traded one of the best guys in franchise history in Chris Middleton and one of
Yeah,
your
he was
young
underwhelming
raw
though.
young
Yeah.
pieces in AJ Johnson
Yeah.
to the Wizards for Kyle Kuzma, who put up goose eggs in the playoffs last year.
Well, yeah.
I just I don't know how you can defend this. Now you're stuck paying 22 million or whatever it is in dead money to Dame for the next 5 years, which is a part of your cap, so it's going to hinder your ability to build a more competitive roster around Giannis. And if you keep him and end up resigning him, then you only
He's gone.
handicap yourself more.
They're not keeping him. There's no way. He's gonna walk.
There's no real path that this Bucks team can take without trading Giannis, and yet I feel like they won't trade him. I want them to,
Yeah, they're crazy.
but they won't.
All right, where should we put him?
D tier.
Hmm. Just because of the potential return they could get for Giannis.
But we don't know what that return is yet. And I think that's the
I would
only
throw him an
reason.
F. I would throw him an F.
Would you
But they
rather
have the Greek Freak.
that's why I feel like you would rather
D.
be in D. Yeah.
Jay Costa, we're on to the Timberwolves.
I think they really need to make a trade. I think Anthony Edwards has taken on a lot more ball handling duties, which I think is good and encouraging and a nice little answer in the short term. Their ability to close out close games is kind of concerning to me. I'll just flag it, but I'm definitely taking note of it. I like their pieces, but I think they can really make a big swing for a point guard. Even if it's in small pieces, even like a Jose Alvarado, I think would be very good for this team.
Yeah.
But I think that's where I'm putting them. But as far as that goes, I still really like this team. I'm gonna go with A tier.
I think they could also go with I think like Kobe White is definitely a big possibility. I mean, it's a cheaper option. It
Absolutely.
would really just take probably Dillingham, DiVincenzo, maybe like a pick swap or something. You know, it
Yeah.
wouldn't really take much. They really just need something there. So they have a lot of options. They could make a splash or they could go nice and easy, like you said. But
hmm
we will see. Move on to the New Orleans Pelicans. Zion getting traded?
I don't think the Pelicans want to be in the Zion business anymore. I really don't. I
No, they
think
don't.
you got a really good thing going with Derek Queen and Jeremiah Fears, who I wasn't really high on Jeremiah Fears to start the season, but I think he's clearly shown that he is ready to spearhead kind of a turnaround in this franchise. Derek Queen, I saw it a little bit in summer league, some on-ball creation stuff with him that I'm very, very impressed by, and it makes me wish the Bulls had taken him. But what are you gonna do? I think no matter what, the front office's decision making is very concerning. They're just sending out unprotected firsts left and right. I think no
Yeah.
matter how good Derek Queen will be, I don't think it's worth giving up an unprotected pick
Well,
in the
you know,
next year's draft.
I saw that they didn't really know what they were giving up. They were
Yeah.
confused, they said, which doesn't surprise me because it was a lot to move up, you know.
I don't know how many teams they called, but whatever the first team they called, and I bet that Atlanta was the first and only team that they called, just because, again, I'm going to repeat myself, but I don't think New Orleans could even finish their sentence before Atlanta was just like, let's
Yeah,
do it.
yeah.
That's just like asset mismanagement to the max. You're not going to get a whole lot of value back for Zion. DeJounte Murray, you don't know what he's going to look like when he comes back. This is just kind of a very immature roster in that I
Hmm.
think at this point you kind of have to get Trey Murphy out there too because I think he can net you some very serious value.
Oh yeah.
I think he's a very good player. He can play defense, he can space the floor, he can drive. He's a three-level scorer. You know what I mean? Like he's like the epitome of what a lot of teams would want in this league.
Yeah. Where are we tossing them? Where are we tossing them?
D tier.
Okay. Yeah,
I
just because that
I'm
big trade.
not
Yeah, no, I'm with it. Fuck it.
I,
I'm with it.
I'm not confident with this front office's ability to make decisions at all.
Yep. All right. New York Knicks.
I love this Knicks team. I think they're my pick to come out of the East, and I think it's theirs to lose.
Yes, absolutely.
Am I
Absolutely.
crazy in saying that? I think.
No, because I think, I mean, this is me personally. I
Mhm,
am probably the biggest cat hater. Like, he's a great player,
mhm.
but I think he really limits you, especially when you have to go against these teams with great bigs. Um, and I think they should really go and trade for Giannis. I think they should package Cat. I don't know what the package would be. Something with Cat involved. Go get Giannis.
I think if you're able to get Giannis, I think that would be good. My only concern is OG Anunoby has been playing absolutely absurd this year. He's
Yeah.
been very good, and I think Mike Brown's really getting the best out of this Knicks team as a whole, including their bench guys, because I know a huge issue with Thibodeau last year was there's not enough depth. They're not playing the depth enough, overly reliant on Jalen Brunson. And I feel like it's a little bit more of just like team basketball,
Yeah.
which I think is good. It's a lighter load on Jalen Brunson. A lot of the depth pieces off the bench are really helping. Jordan Clarkson's look good. I've really liked watching Tyler Kolek. I think he's genuinely really fun to watch in those Brunsonless minutes.
Hmm.
Um, I said Jordan Clarkson already. Deuce McBride too. He's been very
Yeah.
good. And even Hook Porty, their third string center, I think he's very solid. I don't totally know if there's a way you can go about making them look like better. I think a Giannis trade's definitely in there, but again, I don't know what that trade would look like. If it's a Cat Anunoby deal or like a Anunoby Miles or Mikal Bridges deal, I don't totally know, but I think it's the Knicks to lose in the
Yeah, no,
East.
they're gonna lose the East for sure. Where are we tossing them?
I've got them in S tier.
Really?
You're thinking A?
I'm thinking A, dude.
Okay, yeah,
I
I'm
don't
good
think they're
with
in
it.
the
I'm good
same
with that.
tier with the
I
Rockets,
don't.
the Nuggets,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Pistons.
I think I'm gonna go A. I think high A, low S.
Thunder. I
S.
think
I
we
don't
have to, I think no, I think we have to
make a
its
new
own
tier.
tier. SS.
Oh, all right. Yeah,
I
I'm
think
with
go
that.
SS.
The most impressive part about this Thunder team, no matter how unwatchable it may be, because of Shea, just at some point, like I'm just like not totally sure if he's trying to score at all, if he's just mostly going for the foul. It might not be the most watchable, but I think from like a league standpoint, like it's just like it's smart basketball.
Dude, that team is just so good from top to bottom.
They're
Um,
great, and I think the
Wallace
more
has been fantastic this year. I mean, dude, defensively, this team is just locks, bro. You got
yeah.
Caruso, you got Wallace, you got Dort, Chet, Hartenstein comes in. I mean, these bigs are fantastic. These
Hmm.
wings are fantastic. I mean, I think they have the best small forward in the league, and Jalen Williams, or at least top three, if he's
Yeah,
not
I
the
don't.
best.
Yeah, I
You
don't think
know,
that's I don't think that's a
they
totally
got the best
crazy
point
take.
guard in the league. They
Yeah,
have the
and
best foul baiter in the league. They
I don't
have
think
the best draft capital in the league. I mean, we got
I
to kick this team out of the NBA.
again,
This is not fair.
I'm gonna elaborate on that draft capital thing. Even when these guys kind of like outdo their value, like the Lou Dorts, the Hartensteins, eventually when you have to pay like Case and Wallace, whatever, you have that good of scouting talent evaluation out of college that those those pieces, it's just like a revolving door
Yeah.
of just pieces coming in, pieces going out. You're still going to get value for those pieces going out. Like you've got a very good thing going. You might have to build a Sam Presti statue
Oh, for
outside of
sure.
their
It's coming.
arena
It's
at that
coming.
point.
Yeah.
Like he's just been totally unreal.
Yeah.
He's definitely been a guy where you just don't want to do a trade with him because I think 9 times out of 10, probably 9.9 times out of 10, you are going to get fleeced. I'm totally good with making a new tier. SS.
SS.
I'm with
Boom.
it.
All right. Next, we got Orlando. Banchero. Let me ask you this. Banchero. Has he been underwhelming?
I think he's definitely been underwhelming. I'm a little skeptical about the fit between him and Franz. And I
Yeah.
think, again, you kind of need that sort of floor general guy. Jalen Suggs might not be like the most available guy. He's not injury prone by any means. I think his defense is definitely also a very huge part of this team. But I'm just very skeptical about the way this partnership runs. I think Paolo needs to be a little bit more aggressive. He needs to be a little bit more physical in the paint.
Yeah.
But
Dude, I can't believe on the package they gave up for Desmond Bain.
I was a little taken aback too with
I mean,
Cole
how
Anthony,
many? Yeah, I
Cole
mean,
Anthony, um, Cole Anthony, KCP, just to make the money work. Um, I think they gave up something else in return outside
they
of
gave up
like three
like
unprotected
five.
first round picks. Yeah, three or four,
It was
four or
four
five.
future first round picks, three unprotected, one's a 2029 swap, and the 2025 number 16 pick. So five
Oh, right.
first total.
Yes.
Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
Yeah. That's
I can't believe it. But also I understand they wanted to make a splash. I mean
you
I
needed
do
shooting.
yeah, like I like the trade fit wise for him. I just didn't like how much they had to give up to get him.
Yeah. But still like a very overall good roster. I like a lot of the
Yeah.
pieces that are there. Tristan da Silva has been a really good player this year, and I think he's been a guy. I still like the pieces. I think there's an opportunity for them to turn it around. I think a little less sold on them just because of the shooting. There's times where they can just kind of lose it. I
Let me ask you
think are
this.
we
I got a good question for you. The Magic, right? Let's say
mhm.
they really think let's say they really think the fit between Paolo and Franz doesn't work. Who do you trade?
I really don't know. I think you could get a decent amount for both. I
But
think
who do you like right now? If you had to keep one and trade one, who do you keep? Who do you trade?
I'm a very firm believer in Franz, and I don't want to say that I would trade Paolo. I think you could get a little bit more for Paolo than you could get for Franz. And I think for that reason, I would keep Franz. And I think he's got a lot of very great skills. And I think he's got to be a little bit better in the shot creation standpoint, as far as just like getting his own shot, making shots off the dribble. I don't know if that's totally his game though,
Yeah.
but I I think Paulo I think Paulo, in order for me to be a little bit more sold on him, I just need to see more efficiency and a little bit better like defensive effort.
All right, where should we toss him?
Are you thinking low A or high B?
A.
Low A. I'm good with that.
Yeah. Next, we have the 76ers. An interesting one.
Yeah, for
Joel
sure.
Embiid has not been good this year. Tyrese Maxey is the face of that team now. Boom. DJ
Easy.
Edgecombe
Yeah.
has looked great. I mean, he's definitely slowed down since the beginning of the season, but he still is a bright
He's
spot for
still
that team.
yeah, he's also going to
I
be a
thought,
first team all rookie guy
yeah,
for sure.
I thought Jared McCain would have more of an impact
He's been
this
hurt.
year.
I think he's still
Yeah,
trying
he's
to
been
like get
hurt.
back into it.
Yeah, but I mean, dude, he was really good last year for them, before he got injured. Like I think he was leading rookie of the year before he got injured, and I really thought he's gonna have more of an impact coming back to the season. But like you said, I think he's just working his way back from injury.
I
You
think
know,
before I go get to like the Embiid and Paul George piece of it, Trendon Watford, I like watching him play. He gives a lot
yeah,
of hustle, and I was a little concerned with this forward depth moving forward, but clearly I did not know enough about Trendon Watford. I love the way he hustles and dives for loose balls, and I think that's something you really need on this team. Joel Embiid and Paul George, though, I just don't know if they hold any value. You're definitely going to have to attach something to them in order to give
I
them
think
up.
Embiid has value. I think Embiid has value.
Really?
I think Paul George, on the other hand, is tougher because there's not many centers in the league that has the skill set of Embiid and the size that Embiid has, and I feel like there's just a lot of teams that could really use that. And even though he's having a down year, I think he still has value for that reason. I don't know how much value, but it's
I don't.
definitely more than Paul George.
Let me put it for you this way. Joel Embiid is getting paid $60 million a year for 3 years. Don't know if that extension is kicked in yet or not. I think it is. I don't see how he has value, especially when he doesn't play back to backs, when it already looks like he's just kind of dragging one leg around. I get what you're saying about the skill piece of it, but I just feel like he's lost a few steps. I think Paul George, he's looked like pretty solid when he's come back. And I think you might have to dump you definitely have to attach picks to them. And I think you honestly might have to attach Jared McCain to one of them to get off of them.
Maybe.
That's what
Yeah,
I think.
if you're gonna trade one of them, you definitely trade Paul George. Just because, I mean, Embiid, he is a Sixer. He's been there his whole career, and he's also seen what he's been able to do. I mean, he's an
I
MVP caliber player at his peak. So you might as well just keep him around and just hope he can get back to that. Obviously he's very injury prone, but if you're gonna trade one of them, you got to trade
yeah.
Paul George.
I think you can get more for Paul George,
Yeah,
even regardless of, you know, how
yeah.
much older he is. But I think
Where do we toss him? Where do we toss him?
I'm gonna go B. I think just because of the contracts on that team, it kind of makes it difficult
Yeah,
to build around Tyrese Maxey and Edgecombe
yeah.
right now. So that's where I'm putting them. I'm putting them B.
All right, let's go Phoenix Suns.
I think they've definitely been surprising, and they've got these guys playing very hard. I think Jordan Ott deserves a lot of credit for a first year head coach. I think
Hmm.
Devin Booker is kind of putting himself back into the best shooting guard conversation. He's looked good. Dylan Brooks is having a career year. Grayson Allen is kind of getting back to the efficient 3-point shooter that he once was. Colin Gillespie has been very good. He's definitely turned into a guy, an efficient 3-point shooter, a nice point guard for him. I think the Suns should have traded Book instead of Kevin Durant, in my opinion, because
Mm,
I feel like they could have gotten more in return.
yeah.
But also from the Rockets standpoint, I see why you would just want Kevin Durant so you can keep those draft assets. I think they deserve a lot of credit. I'm still not a fan about their future. They don't have any really interesting young guys that I can really point to. Malawach hasn't really gotten a lot of burn. I know he has been very hyped coming out of the draft, but we still have yet to see anything from him.
Mm,
I'm gonna go D tier still, unfortunately.
I like it. I like it. All right, Trailblazers. Denny Avdia.
Yeah,
Crazy year he's having. He's been a
he
dog.
he's an all-star this year, no doubt about
Yeah.
it. He's among the
Yeah.
top of the league in free throws. He's top of the league in drives. I'm not crazy about this team shooting, but I think you can definitely get pieces to improve that side of the ball. They've got a really big team. Donovan Clingan is third overall in offensive rebounding. You've got some, really good pieces. I think you're a little over reliant on Drew Holiday at this age, but he's done a lot of good things for them. Jeremy Grant suddenly starting to have value again. Tamani
Hmm.
Kamara is one of my favorite players in the league to
Dude,
watch.
he's good, man. Yeah, bro.
He's a great defender. He brings great size, pause. And I think the shot comes around a little bit with him. I think I would much rather him shoot. And I think once they start falling and once he kind of fixes that, I think he's going to be a very good asset for this team.
So where are we throwing him?
I'm
It's a
throwing
weird one, I
them.
think. It's a weird one.
There's not like a whole lot of pressure for them to compete, but
No.
like yet they're still competitive. They're still
Yeah.
very good. Are we going low A or are we going high B?
Ooh, definitely not A.
High B?
Yes.
I'm
Yeah,
good
yeah,
with that.
B.
I'm
B,
good
B,
with
B,
that.
B, B. Talking about a stinker. Sacramento Kings. Who would have
Oh my
thought?
God.
DeMar and Zach LaVine don't work together. Who would have thought?
I feel like Arturas Karnisovas, Mark Eversley, if you're watching this, you might as well call Vivek Ranadive and just say, hey, you want to complete the set? Do you want to
Yeah.
trade for Nikola Vucevic?
And
Do you
Patrick
want to trade
Williams
for
for Keegan Murray. Boom.
I wish it were that easy. I don't know if that would actually work, but
Nope.
they don't have a whole lot of intriguing pieces. Keegan Murray, I thought they paid more than Jalen Johnson at one point, but they didn't, thankfully. But Keegan Murray is still very good. They don't have a lot of intriguing young guys. That French guy that they took in the second round has given them some very solid minutes when Sabonis has been hurt, and he's going to be out for another month. And he's definitely very, excuse me, intriguing. Keon Ellis was another guy that I thought would have value, but for some reason they just don't like playing him. I don't love this team. I don't love this makeup. I don't know what this front office is thinking. I think they took a very, young upcoming team that surprised a lot of people 2, 3 years ago with that Beam team, and they just kind of they ruined it. I
Yeah.
wish they would have done more after that year. I think you were so close to beating the Warriors, but I think you just needed more, and they didn't do that. And just because they didn't do that, they put themselves several steps behind everybody else, and then they just kind of rushed to put all this stuff together. I just think Vivek just doesn't need to be as involved with this team. I think you need a guy that actually, I don't want to say that actually knows what he's doing, but, and I think for that reason, I'm going to go D tier.
I think that's an easy D tier right there. Big hitter. Spurs. Let's just S tier them right away.
Yeah. Yeah. No
Wemby,
sort of,
Stephon
yeah.
Castle,
Dylan Harper's been
Dylan
great.
Harper.
I think he's already become one of the best finishers in the league, Dylan Harper.
Yeah.
He's looked insane. And I think in any sort of Giannis, I don't think they trade for Giannis just for the sake of I really see more with Stephon Castle and Dylan Harper because I know if the Bucks were smart, they would ask for one of those two. I don't see it happening. I feel like that's where they kind of draw the line.
I just want to see Wemby and Giannis play together so badly.
I think it would be nice
So badly.
if they're able to swing a Giannis trade without giving up
No,
Stephon Castle
you
or Dylan
you have
Harper.
to. No, no,
You
no.
have to.
That's
You
yeah, you
have
have
to.
to. It's one of the two.
I think with the ascension of Dylan Harper, I think you kind of are in a weird situation with De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
What do you do with that contract? You just extended him.
Well, I think De'Aaron Fox
Um,
would have to be a part of that to make the money work.
I think he would have to 100% be a part of that, but I just don't know how interested the Bucks would be. If they want to
Yeah.
remain competitive, I can still see them taking a De'Aaron Fox. I don't know exactly how tradable he is at that contract, but I think that goes without saying that I think they've got a lot of great pieces. Harrison Barnes has been solid. Luke Cornett's
Yeah,
been
he
a
has.
great addition off the bench. I think that like the amount of lob plays that they've ran for Luke Cornett is really
Yeah.
nice. I think
Yeah.
the real like I don't want to say concern, but something that I've kind of noticed whenever Wemby's shot's not falling, I think he's just more of like a defensive guy. They don't run a whole lot of lob plays for Wemby. They don't run as much as I think they should, but I think also it's just because of his frame that he's just not able to like he's a big target. You see him coming. You see him cutting to the hoop. I don't know exactly how you stop him, but like I think you just need him. You need him to be some sort of role man instead of like a like a shot creator, which is crazy to say about a 7'5" guy, but
Yeah.
you need
Easy S
I think
tier. Easy S
easy
tier.
S tier.
Easy S tier. Next, we got the Toronto Raptors.
I was not super high on Toronto's roster makeup, but I love Darko Rajakovic as a coach, and I feel like he's kind of like concocted like this very good mix of staggering the lineups with RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes, Brandon Ingram. I don't love the Pirtle contract. I feel like they kind of outbid themselves on that front. Quickly has looked very good. I want to see more of these like kind of young guys and see how they developed. Who's going to be a good fit at the two, whether it's Grady Dick or Jacoby Walter. Because I don't think RJ Barrett should be in the starting lineup. I think he should be more of a six man of a shot and
Mhm.
a shot creator off the bench. Jamal Shed is also becoming quickly like one of the fan favorites when it comes to role players in this league. I think he plays with a lot of hustle, and I love watching him. But they've definitely impressed me, and I think for that, I think I'm going to put him B tier.
Utah Jazz.
I think if you're able to get a nice little return for marketing, I think you trade him. I think they get rid of him for the right price. I'm very skeptical about marketing being on a winning team just because of his history. And I think that's one of the reasons why I didn't want him to be on our roster moving forward was just because he just didn't contribute to winning. It felt like every time he had a good game, like would be the games that we would lose. And since the Jazz are not doing a whole lot of winning, like they've been a surprise. Marketing's been great, but I still do like their pieces. I think Walter Clayton's good. Collier's good.
I think we throw him in C.
See, I was gonna go. I was gonna go A actually. I love their draft assets. I like their future. I like their
Mm,
pieces. They've got cap space still. I
yeah.
think they could get a lot of value for Walker Kessler. I wouldn't be surprised if like more than half the league was calling about him. I
I
would.
think I'm comfortable with B. I don't know if I'm quite there with A.
Okay, let's compromise. Let's go B.
All right, last we have the Wizards. Your boys.
I also this is another young team that doesn't do a whole lot of winning, but at the same time, I do really like their pieces. I think Keyshawn George has really stepped up as a ball handler, as a creator. He's looked very good. I don't think he's a primary ball handler for this team, but I think he could be a very nice secondary ball handler. He does a lot of things well for you. He plays defense, he rebounds, he's Alex Sarr, he's been great this year. He's been absolutely fantastic. Trey Johnson's been fine, but I think my issue with this team is just that they have a lot of got like younger guys that do a lot of the same thing as a CJ McCollum,
Hmm.
like a Trey Johnson, Bub Carrington,
Yeah.
CJ McCollum. I still do really like this team. Marvin Bagley has been great. Like definitely better than I think a lot of people expected. I love their pieces. I like their picks. I like this roster. I think I'm gonna go.
So
I think I'm gonna go A tier again.
I'm okay with that. Here is our tier ranking. I want you guys to let us know what you agree or disagree on down below and check back next Friday for episode 2. Thank you, Jay Cost. Thank you, Dimitri. You're welcome. And we will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching the
Deuces.
first episode of Free Play Hoops. See you soon.